Hi guys, so today's video is going to be about changing the countershaft sprocket and the seal behind it. Mine started leaking and I've noticed the dome washer has become loose as well. It happens over time to all of them. It's a KTM Husky thing. So we're going to go about changing it. The tools you're going to need, I'm going to move you around here so you can see. So these are the tools you're going to be using. We've got the hammer, we've got my 14-tooth sprocket, we've got our O-rings, we've got some Loctite, you're going to need that, some silicone, some pliers, some pick tools for getting the old O-ring out, all balls kit for replacing the seal. I got a new bolt and a new dome washer, very important because my dome washers, I don't know if you can see here. My dome washer, there, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's wobbling, it's moving because it's just got loose. It fatigues over time. I'm not sure that's ever been changed since the bike was new. This is a 2017 500 EXC 6 days. You're gonna need a torque wrench. All the torque specs for every single bolt that we take off and put back on, I will be putting in the video. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing to do, we're going to loosen off, before we do anything else, we're going to loosen off this countershaft bolt. The best way of all the videos that I've seen of it done on the internet is you're going to put it in gear first, and then you're going to step on the brake from this side with one foot, and then it's going to lock up the wheel and the chain. It's going to give you that ability then to just pull the bolt straight off. So it's in gear. I'm standing on the brake, lean over the bike and just pull that bolt up. It's going to be pretty tough because like I say, it's Loctited on, but there we go. Not too difficult. Still on the brake and just keep going with that. It's not going to be immediately easy to get off because the Loctite helps the bolt stick in there into the threads. So I'll just keep going with that. Keep it going until you get it pretty much all the way off. Okay, so I'll bring you in here so you can see what's going down. So we've now got that off. That's cool. There we go. That's the hard part done. You are going to notice there's lots of residue inside the threads. Try and get some of that out as much as possible so that you're torquing the bolt correctly. You know, it's not having to take into account all the gunk and the crap that's going to be in there. What we can do is we can measure this old crush washer, Belleville washer, to the new one and see the difference in the thickness. And we've got 2.38 millimeters. Let's have a look at the new one. Oh wow, yeah, there you go, 2.65. There's a big difference. Cool. Shiny new pieces. We like shiny new pieces. We're going to remove this I think it's an 8mm. Where's my socket? Sit there. I believe we've got an 8mm and a 10mm. Yeah, 8mm and a 10mm up here for removing the chain guard. A lot of people just remove the first one and then just lift it up out of the way, but I mean mine's covered in gunk. So I'm going to remove this and give it a little bit of a clean up anyway, get some of the oil that's run down from the filter out of there. And then when we come to put these back on, I'll put the torque specs in for these bolts. So yeah, I'll do that now. And there we go. that's out. Give that clean. Okay, so now we'll pull the rear wheel off. 27mm. Everything's so much easier with the breaker bar. So much easier. Yeah, I got the Apico, the anodized parts. I like my bling. They don't last long, but they're cool when they're new. Okay. Pull the wheel off. Nice and easy. Chain off, wheel out. Simple as that. So now we've pulled the chain forward, we can pull off the sprocket just like that. There we go, and that's what we're left with. So what we've got now is we've got a couple of bolts, one under there, one on top of there for the chain guard. So we can take that off because the little lip of the chain guide here interferes with the installation of the and taking out the old oil seal. 5mm hex. Mine was actually really loose. It's a good job I checked that. That needs tightening up properly when I put it back in. Wow. There we go. Okay guys, so I pulled the chain guard off and I just I quickly cleaned everything around here. I mean, you can use some solvents, you can use, you know, a bit of brake cleaner, you can use some soapy water, whatever you want to use. So we cleaned up the area. We don't want any dirt getting in behind the new seals because there's a bearing behind there, and the last thing you want to do is chew up that bearing with gravel and grit, sand, whatever you've been riding in. Well, a couple of these little pullers, they work well. Just get them under each side. Got a couple of small screwdrivers, flatheads, and just twist them, and it will pop the spacer out. A runner, whatever you want to call it, for the seal. And there you can see now that's looking much better, nice and clean, ready to go back in once we've got the new oil seal on and the new O-ring down at the bottom. Again, where is it? You can get these out using a screwdriver. You know, you can put something here to lever against and use a flathead. It's not ideal. You've got to be careful that you don't score the inside edge of your case. If you do that bad enough, the oil will come through the outside edge of the seal. So be very careful. You can buy a puller. This was, I think, £11. Sealy. You get them anywhere in the UK. I'm assuming anywhere. If you're watching in America, places in Europe, you can get these almost anywhere online. eBay. I got mine from eBay. So we're going to use this to pull this seal out, and it just comes out just as easy as that. These things are worth their weight in gold. And then we're just going to make sure it's nice and smooth on the inside edge. We don't want any dirt at all inside here. That feels perfect, to be honest. The bearing is very, very smooth, perfect. Yeah, cool. Okay, Don't forget, if you can, clean out as much of the inside of the thread as you can as well before you put that bolt in there. You can use like these, your little pullers and things like that. You can get in there really well. Just loosen up some of that dirt and that dust in there from the original thread lock. Just like that, to work its way out down the thread. If you've got a Q-tip, you just damp that slightly with some alcohol and get that in there. Sorry, that's my parrot in the background. You can pull a lot of the dust and the dirt out of there with that, and that's looking so much cleaner, ready for a new bolt. Okay, now we can take out the old O-ring. Here it is. And yeah, that's flat. I mean, that's looking real tired. In the all balls kit, you do get, they give you 2 new O-rings, which is nice. And there's old, there's new. Wow, yeah, that's a big difference, isn't it, Rio? Huh? Yeah, yes. Uh-huh. And what's your opinion on all this? What I like to do with new O-rings, it just helps them to be installed. I mean, there's a small chance, you know, you do get 2, you get a spare in case you make a mistake and you accidentally nick one or cut one. I mean, these are not really sharp, but you know, parts of it can be sharp enough that they might catch the O-ring, so a bit of silicone grease on it, just better to be safe than sorry. Okay, new O-ring, just gently press that down into there. Very gently. Uh-huh. We've done it. There it is, look. Yeah, it's in. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Do you want to come and say hello? Yeah, come on then. You can, how does it look? You come and tell me. Say hello to the people. Hello. Hello. Yeah, sit on the wheel then. Does it look okay? Everything's good? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Okay, so the O-ring's in. Again, I'll put a little bit of silicone grease just around the edge of here. Just to help it in a little bit. And we're going to pop that on there. That's now ready to seat. Now we'll take our socket, 32mm. Like I say, if you don't have 32mm and you've got an old bearing, that really does fit perfectly. It slides right onto the thing there, and it will make a completely flush fitment, or at least to get it started, you know. And you just take the hammer and you'll just very gently just start. Just gently start tapping that in, and you know, there she goes. She's in flush, and then you just finish it with the socket. You can keep going with that, you know, just tap it around the edges rather than the middle when it gets flush with this. You don't want to bash this, but I'll take my socket there and just keep tapping that. Just keep. Just keep working that in until it's flush. very slowly. Take your time. This is definitely not a race. Oh yeah. Yep, see that's in there nicely now. Nice and flush. The O-ring's in, the oil seal's on. There we go, we just need to put this back in. Again, I'm going to put a little bit of grease. Just a little tiny bit. And there you go. And that's in there now perfectly. New sprocket on. Make sure that you don't put the sprocket on the wrong way around. Yeah, you want the flat face out. Obviously that's what the Belleville washer squashes onto. So make sure that goes on the right way. Let's put the chain over. There we go. Just going to pop that on there. We'll put the crush washer on and the bolt in. Just finger tighten it. Get the wheel all joined back on, the chain and everything, so we can torque up the bolt again. Again, we're just going to stand on the brake from the other side of the bike, and we're gonna torque it up to 60 Newton meters. But first, we'll get the chain back on the sprocket on the rear wheel. Another thing to note as well, with this one, it kind of sits right inside anyway, the middle. Some of them don't. The washer can move around, so make sure that it is centered on that washer. Right, I'm going to put the chains and everything back on, stand the bike up. Okay, so everything's back together. Finger tight. I've not tightened everything up properly yet. I did have to go back, take the sprocket off and put the chain the chain guard back on. Don't forget to put that on first before the sprocket, because it won't go behind it. The wheel's on. Because I put a 14.2 sprocket, I've had to adjust the chain again. So I've checked my chain tension. Your chain tension wants to be between 50, 55 and 58, I think the book says. I try to go about 60. I like to run it like just a couple of points of a millimetre looser. I've never had a problem with the chain come off yet, so all is good. So first of all, I'm going to torque the back wheel on. Torque setting is okay guys, so I hope that's helped. If you have the problems with your leaking oil seal like I did, that's certainly how I fixed mine on my 2017 model. I think the 4-strokes from about 2013-14 are pretty much the same. The 2-strokes I think from about 16-17, I think they also became the same. I think the early ones had the they didn't have the bolt, did they? They had the little circlip. I think the new ones are the same as the 4-strokes now anyway. So yeah, so for most of you, that'll be the way to do it. So I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.